In the early 2010s, the LA Clippers did something that honestly felt almost impossible. They became fucking cool as shit. Not just competitive and not just relevant, but genuinely must-watch basketball. Night after night, my friends and I scoured the internet for highlights that flooded everything. Alley-oops that looked like they were thrown from the rafters, and dunks that seemed to pause mid-air before detonating at the rim. At the center of it all was a trio that turned basketball into a nightly highlight reel. Their names were Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. Together, they created one of the most entertaining eras the NBA has ever seen. People called it Lob City. But the story of Lob City isn't just about insane alley-oops. It's about how the most exciting team in basketball never reached the place they were supposed to go. For most of their existence, the Clippers were the NBA's punchline. While the LA Lakers were winning championships and hanging banners, and the future was going to be Golden State, the Clippers were, the Clippers. They had losing seasons, chaotic front offices, and very little hope. Then, in 2009, something changed. With their first overall pick in the NBA draft, the Clippers selected a hyper-athletic forward from Oklahoma, Blake Griffin. Now, Griffin missed his entire rookie year with an injury, which made the anticipation even bigger. And when he finally stepped onto the court in 2010, he immediately became a true human highlight reel. Dunking over defenders, over cars, dunks that belonged in video games. Blake Griffin won Rookie of the Year and instantly gave the Clippers something they never had before: star power. But one superstar was never enough. They needed someone to run the show. And in December 2011, the Clippers franchise made a franchise-changing move. They traded one of the best point guards in the world. They got Chris Paul. Now, Chris Paul was already a superstar, a floor general, and one of the smartest players in basketball. And the moment he arrived in LA, he saw something. Blake Griffin, a towering center who had yet to fully break out, and his name was DeAndre Jordan. And according to legend, during one of their first practices, Paul threw an alley-oop that Griffin hammered home, then another, and another. And someone joked, "This isn't the Clippers, this is Lob City." And the name stuck. And the NBA truly was never the same. Lob City basketball was chaos in the best possible way. Chris Paul would dribble into the lane, the defense would collapse, and suddenly a ball would be flying towards the rim. And from nowhere, Blake Griffin would appear, launching from outside the paint to slam the ball. Or DeAndre Jordan would rise above everyone and crush the rim. Night after night, the highlights piled up. Jordan throwing down lobs, Blake Griffin posterizing everyone, and Chris Paul orchestrating everything like a conductor. And Lob City wasn't just winning games. They were breaking the internet before that was even a thing. The historic dunk of DeAndre Jordan over Brandon Knight became one of the most famous posters in NBA history. And suddenly, the Clippers weren't the forgotten team in LA anymore. They were the most fun in basketball ever.
Here comes Chris Paul. The lob. The jam! Oh, what a monster jam!
And from 2012 to 2016, the Clippers were consistently one of the best teams in the league. Chris Paul ran the offense with surgical precision. Blake Griffin evolved from dunker into an all-around superstar. DeAndre Jordan became an elite rim protector and rebounder. They won 50-plus games multiple times. They built deep, insane rosters with players like Jamal Crawford, JJ Redick, Lou Williams, Matt Barnes, and under coach Doc Rivers, the Clippers looked like a legitimate championship contender. But there was just always one problem: the playoffs. For all their talent and excitement, Lob City could never quite break through. And in 2014, they lost a brutal second-round series to the Oklahoma City Thunder. In 2015, they had their best chance. The Clippers were up 3-1 against the Houston Rockets. One more win, just one, But in Game 6, the Rockets staged one of the most shocking comebacks in playoff history. And suddenly, the Clippers were eliminated, and the collapse became one of the most defining moments in Lob City era. From that point forward, injuries and bad luck just kept piling up. Chris Paul was hurt, then Blake. The roster aged, trades happened, and slowly, the window began to close. And by 2017, the era was officially over, because Chris Paul was traded to the Houston Rockets. Blake Griffin eventually moved to Detroit. DeAndre Jordan just went to free agency. That team had once filled arenas and dominated highlight reels, just disappeared. Just like that. Lob City never reached the finals. They never won a chip, but they did something else. They made the Clippers matter. And for 5 years, the NBA revolved around their highlights. Kids tried to recreate alley-oops in their driveways. Fans tuned in every night just to see what insane dunk might happen next. For a brief moment in NBA history, basketball felt like a dunk contest every night. And the Clippers, the same team that had been the league's biggest joke, were finally the main event. That was Lob City, a team that flew higher than anyone, even if they never quite landed where they hoped. Because sometimes the greatest teams aren't the ones that win championships. Sometimes they're the ones you can't stop watching. And Lob City was one of the most unforgettable shows the NBA has ever seen.